it is technology, and in particular entertainment technology, games, a force for good in the world? Is the development of new technology, the production of increasingly entertaining games, to the benefit of humanity?
I don't know. Um, it's very hard to think about because the scale is so big. Like video games are very popular, right? Different kinds of games are popular with different kinds of people, but um, the scale at which they operate is quite large. And things like Twitter and Facebook are also sort of video games. We don't call them that, and
Hmm.
I wouldn't necessarily call them that seriously, but that's sort of what they are too. And so,
Well, Meta in particular seems like a video
well,
game,
they're
right?
trying to go further that way for sure. Not very well yet, so we'll see. We'll see what happens there.
Yeah, how much did they spend in the last year to
A
develop
lot,
the
a
metaverse?
lot of money. I wish I had a little bit of that money. I could do some stuff with it. But
Billions of pounds. Yeah.
it's a lot. Um, but yeah, so anything that's even slightly good or slightly bad is multiplied by the number of people whom it affects, right?
Mm.
And so even like imagine you just released a chemical into the atmosphere of Earth that made everybody's life 1% worse. That's actually really bad
Right.
because it's like everybody in the world is
Yeah.
1% worse, even though 1% doesn't sound like a lot, right?
Yeah.
And so video games are like that. And I don't know because it's very complex. I try to do things that are mostly good. Um, Other people don't care or want to do things that mostly benefit themselves. And as we've said, evolutionarily, the people who don't care probably win. I probably lose in
Mm.
that fight. If that's why I wish I had billions of dollars from Facebook because I don't have billions of dollars because I didn't make, all these, you know, phone games and stuff that are like try to go viral and
It's
get
kind
you
of
to
a
put all
catch
your friends in
22
them
because,
and whatever.
by definition, the people who have the most control are those who have the fewest principles constraining them.
Yeah. Um, it's not 100% true. I know some people who have done very well in games who are like really solid people and who want the best for players, but it's certainly a lot easier to just be exploitative. And you know what? Most people who try to be exploitative just fail anyway, and they don't make good games that people want to play.
Mm.
But when they
Hmm.
succeed, they could succeed pretty big, right?
Mm.
And so all of this is just at play all the time. And I just hope that we have a net positive impact, but I honestly don't really know. And my concern is not, especially going back in time when I say that I'm not sure how good video games are, people usually think I'm talking about violence or something, but that's not. That's not what I'm talking about. Um, I don't think violence is that much of an issue. If there is an issue with video game violence, it's more about damaging people's aesthetics and their sensibilities and their emotional responsiveness. It's not about like we're making people violent by having them play violent games. I don't think that's a thing.
Hmm.
But really I think the danger is sapping people's energy and diverting it into this activity that is unproductive, right? And
Mm.
in fact, causes your muscles to atrophy and your brain to atrophy in these things, right? And
Mm.
some games do that a lot more than other games. And so um, we just need to be
Mm.
careful about that, right? I think there are a lot of positive aspects to games. I wouldn't be working in games if I didn't think so. But they have to be worth the time that you spend in front of them, right? Any hour that you have in a day, you could spend doing this or you could spend doing that. And in the end, how good of an idea was it to spend 3,000 hours playing this one game, which people do? Um,
Yeah.
3,000 hours is a lot of time, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's, what is that? That's like, 50 hours a week times, or no, sorry, 50 weeks a year times 20 hours a week times 3 years. It's half of a full-time job for 3 years, for example. You can do a lot in that amount of time.
Or you could do absolutely nothing working a full-time job in a big tech
Well,
company.
that is true, right? And so it is. It's not clear, is all I'm saying. It's not clear what are the big things that we really need to worry about.